The moment Patricia Caldwell stepped out of my cabin in flannel pajama pants and combat boots, clutching her mug of black coffee like it was an extension of her soul, everything changed. Right there at dawn on a Saturday with the air so cold it could slice through denim. Our HOA president, Sharon Wickford, froze. Mid 911. Call went pale as fresh snow and whimpered. I didn't know who was in there. You could actually hear the panic in her voice echoing through the valley, bouncing off pines and cabin roofs, while the dispatcher on the other end got a front row seat to Sharon's little meltdown. Let me tell you, if you think HOA drama is all board meetings and passive-aggressive notes, you're not ready for what happened next. But hang on, I should probably back up a sec, because you're probably wondering how it got to this point. A grown woman in snowshoes calling the cops over a flagpole and a $10 motion light. Name's Derek Sullivan. 52 high school science teacher, Sudoku enthusiast, proud owner of exactly one fishing rod, and until this year, zero patience for busybodies in cardigans. I'd just inherited my late uncle's lakeside cabin up in Pine Ridge Summit, a place so pretty it feels fake. Think Crystal Lake wild turkeys and enough bylaws to wallpaper the whole forest. And right smack in the middle of it all, there's Sharon. Now, Sharon isn't just the HOA president. She's the self-declared commander-in-chief of common areas, says it with a straight face too, while swinging around a gavel she bought on eBay and binoculars that look military grade. I'd heard the horror stories before I moved in. My uncle used to say that Wickford woman once called the fire department because somebody's barbecue smoke was too dark, and I always laughed thinking he was exaggerating. He wasn't. Sharon runs the HOA like a court-martial podium, laminated bylaws, a husband who just nods along. Harold, poor guy, he's basically a human bobblehead. My big mistake. Two things really first. I put up an American flag on a 12-foot pole next to the deck, and then I added a solar-powered motion sensor light, mostly so I wouldn't trip over raccoons coming in late. To anyone with common sense, this is cabin upgrades. But to Sharon, this was what she called militant signaling, and yes, she said it out loud. It all started one foggy morning. There I was wrestling the flag into place when I spotted Sharon lurking at the tree line, binoculars up, clipboard, shaking like she'd just seen a UFO. 2 days later, I get this official-looking letter embossed with pine cones, no less accusing me of non-compliant exterior illuminance, whatever that means, and demanding my unauthorized surveillance beacon be removed and my flagpole reviewed by something called the Symbol Approval Subcommittee. Yeah, that's a thing here. I laughed it off. Big mistake number 2. After that, Sharon doubled down. She started what she called integrity sweeps, prowling the neighborhood at night with a flashlight and, I swear, a telescoping pole she used to measure my flag. She sent out emails warning the whole community that I was prepping for separatist activity, her evidence. She'd seen me in camo waders and buying soup on sale at the grocery store. No joke, she even started Operation Patriot Watch, complete with grainy flyers, red circles, and ominous question marks over my face like I was some sort of suburban Unabomber. At one point, she called the forestry department to report that my firewood was from endangered species. The ranger showed up, took one look at the barcode stickers, and just about lost it laughing. But the kicker was when I installed a tiny security camera next morning, I caught Sharon on a stepladder slapping a crochet doily over it like some kind of surveillance exorcism. When I asked what she was doing, she snapped, "Surveillance equipment must be approved by the Architectural Review Committee subsection 12.4, like she was citing scripture. And then came the real fireworks. One Saturday, I caught her literally peering through my cabin window, convinced I was running some clandestine operation. What she saw were my fishing waders and a leaf blower, but Sharon's mind. She dialed 911, trembling, and told the dispatcher, "There's a hostile male with military-grade equipment possibly squatting at cabin 14. He's got a flag and lights. Please send help." Yeah, that happened. But here's where it gets good. See, that weekend, I wasn't alone. My sister Patricia was up visiting, and what Sharon didn't know is that Patricia's a U.S. Marshal 15 years on the job, not easily rattled by HOA warlords or dramatic neighbors. The cops showed up, lights flashing, ready for a standoff, only to find Patricia on the porch, sipping coffee, badge clipped to her belt, cool as a glacier. "Officers," she said, "I'm U.S. Marshal Patricia Caldwell, badge number 7492. This is my brother's property. That woman has been trespassing and harassing us for days. It's all on camera." The officers took one look at Patricia, then at Sharon, who by now looked like she was about to faint, and asked her to explain herself. But I'm the HOA president." Sharon sputtered, shaking her clipboard at them like a shield. "I was protecting the community." The lead officer, veteran type, just sighed and said, "Ma'am, being the HOA president doesn't give you the right to trespass or file false police reports." Patricia Stoneface pulled up the camera footage. Sharon midnight on my porch, measuring the flagpole, putting the doily over the camera, even snapping photos through the window. The cops just stared, shaking their heads. And then the real twist: Harold, Sharon's long-suffering husband, comes waddling up in slippers, takes one look at the chaos, and just says, "Sharon, honey, I told you to leave them alone." The look on Sharon's face: if you could bottle that, you could retire early. The police led her away, clipboard clattering, neighbors peeking out from behind their curtains. It was the first time anyone had ever seen the mighty Sharon Wickford bested on her own turf. But the story doesn't end there. Oh no. Body cam footage hit social media like wildfire. Next HOA board meeting absolutely packed. Turns out everybody had a Sharon story: 30 years of petty vendettas, tape-measured lawns, threats over mailbox colors. They voted her out unanimous, except for Harold, who tried to vote to keep her but got tossed too for supportive enabling of harassment. That one got a standing ovation. A few weeks later, the judge didn't hold back: criminal trespass, $500 fine; harassment, $1,000; false emergency call, $2; $500 plus 100 hours of community service, and the cherry on top: "Mrs. Wickford, you are banned from serving on any HOA board for 5 years." She turned purple. "But the HOA is my life," she gasped. "The judge just said maybe the community can manage without harassment, Mrs. Wickford." Gavels down, show's over. And as Sharon shuffled out of that courtroom, muttering about bylaws and property values, you could almost hear the collective sigh of relief from Pine Ridge Summit. Patricia hugged me and said, "Guess you don't need a motion light to spot trouble here, huh?" Couldn't help but laugh at that. So yeah, we still have the flag and the motion light, Sharon. Well, she's taken up knitting. Nobody's seen Harold in a while, but rumor has it he joined the fishing club. The best part: the community found its backbone, got a little friendlier, a little less obsessed with rule books, at least for now. But I gotta ask, where's the line between keeping order and just plain harassment? Ever dealt with a Sharon where you live, or maybe deep down? Do we all have a little Sharon inside us waiting for a flagpole to set us off? Drop your stories below. Let's hear where you stand on HOA's neighbors, and just how far is too far when it comes to protecting your turf. Because trust me, out here, you never really know who's watching or who's about to bring the real law to the front porch.